Hey, what's going on, yo? It is Visokii Gaming here with another episode of the Raw
Hold
Deal
on, it's what?
Dabcast.
Visokii what?
Exactly. It's
Yep.
so meta. See, I'm already making references. You guys, if you were here for the days, which is literally everyone that's here, was here for the days of Visokii Gaming. All right. So, what did you think? What did you think of the shows this week?
Raw, didn't watch as much as I wanted to. No power. SmackDown, I really enjoyed it. Thought it was a fun show.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, yeah, dude, the world did, right? So,
Absolutely,
Garrett, I agree.
Dude, look at my hair. Why is it sticking up like that? Is it the headphones?
Who knows?
All right, anyway, what did you think of this shows?
Who knew? Used to look at me like, who you?
So, what did you what wrestling this week, huh?
My power was out and is still out. So
you didn't see any of it.
what a sight.
I saw SmackDown over here. Dude, it's going to overflow, right? Have you ever had Jeremiah's, Garrett?
I don't think so. I've had Italian ice before, though.
They have this stuff called gelati. They take their soft serve ice cream and mix it with their Italian ice. Now, Italian ice isn't like, it's like gooey, right?
Yeah.
It's not like the Italian ice like you get at the supermarket where it's all like crunched up. It's good stuff.
Well, I've gotten actual stuff before.
I watched SmackDown over here last night, but I wasn't able to catch any of Raw, but I did watch some of the YouTube clips.
All right, so let me just I'll go through some of the stuff then.
I saw the Miz Maurice thing.
I was smart. I gave myself a link to the Raw, like the stuff that happened on Raw, because I was already like 10 minutes after Raw. I was like, what happened on that show?
Yeah, I don't have more water at my apartment right now, so.
Yeah, I saw that.
I expected to get it until Sunday.
It's crazy, man.
Pretty pissed off, but is what it is.
All right, so Raw this week. So the opening match was Roman Reigns versus Jason Jordan. I can't remember if anything else besides that happened in the opening segment. I think it was just like just dry entrances, right? It was just opened with Jason Jordan maybe.
Well, they gave match time just like they did with Jordan and Cena, right?
Yeah. This is they also reprised the spot of the the roll through Northern Lights suplex. Yeah, which by the way, that's an impressive move. If that's the signature now, I'm completely okay with it. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's a harder move. You can't do it on everybody, obviously, and he always has that corner sort of spear that he can do. You know.
Yeah.
If it's somebody like Strowman or something, which obviously I don't know if I want to see that match, but hey, if you guy can,
I want to see him do the roll through Northern Lights on Strowman.
If he can do that, I think Strowman would if the Strowman was champion, would just drop the belt to him there. No match, just like here, have it, just have it.
Take it away from me.
Yeah, I liked this match. I thought it was I mean, I don't know what their point with this is for Jason Jordan, but I guess it kind of elevates him because he's almost beaten both of them. But it also he
comes out of this better than anybody else. Like he probably, out of everybody on TV, SmackDown and Raw, his stock is raised the most out of anybody in the past 2 weeks, and it's from losses. So
that's a pretty impressive feat right there. Good job, WWE. Yeah, I mean. I think this went like maybe 20-30 minutes. Does that sound right? Something like that.
30 minutes?
Maybe not that much. Maybe it was 10-15. I don't know. It was long. It felt long to me. I mean, not that like it was bored or anything. Just like it felt like a longer match to me.
Right.
To open the show with. Then again, it did roll straight into another segment though, which we'll get to right now. So Cena came out. It was a fake interview. So this was I left all my little notes, but I deleted them all. I don't know why, but I did. And so John Cena is backstage, like sort of watching the match throughout the match. And then when the match ends, they I think it was Charlie Caruso came to interview him. And whoever it was anyway. And he was like, I'm going to go say everything I'm going to say to Roman Reigns. So it was like a fake out interview, which I don't know what the point of that was, but the waste 15 seconds or something. But anyway, so, I mean, these promos, man, they just keep getting better, I feel like. But I feel like Roman still has not reached and grabbed that opportunity that it's still been put out there 3 weeks in a row now, you know?
The zinger of Roman Reigns saying, John, I hear you can't break into Hollywood. I know a guy.
That was great.
That is fantastic.
But last week and the week before, all 3 weeks he has had great lines. But also all 3 weeks, John Cena has gone out there and given a top-notch promo that even for him is really good, you know? So I feel like this is gonna happen until Roman just reaches out and grabs it, because it's right there. We all know it's right there. We know the guy can cut a promo. Do you think he's maybe intimidated by Cena because he is kind of doing exactly what they're saying out there, and he doesn't know how to feel in a situation where he's literally just saying what's actually happening instead of, you know, whatever somebody wrote down, even though it's kind of a mix of both, and you can tell.
I mean, there's a chance, but I think that they're enjoying themselves doing this.
Completely.
It's probably a mixture of enjoyment, and they're both actually kind of got like a little rivalry going maybe backstage. Who knows?
I mean, that's what I was going to say. If there's any pressure on Roman Reigns, it's that all reports have shown that Roman Reigns is the locker room leader. And it's not that people backstage, other wrestlers, don't like John Cena. It's that they just really like Roman Reigns. They think that he deserves to be the top guy. He works just as hard, if not harder, than anyone else backstage from all reports that we've seen. So there might be pressure on himself to be better than Cena because he wants to. It's like he's representing the entire locker room, and John Cena is representing the part-timers.
Exactly. Something interesting I heard said like a bunch of different times in shoot interviews recently about Roman was every single person that has talked about wrestling Roman has said he's like wrestling nobody else. Like no one is better just purely at wrestling you as a person. Yeah, that's a really good thing. That's a good sign that all these people that have been doing this for way many more years than Roman are saying these things about him. And it shows that it really is in a Samoan person's blood if you come from a family of wrestlers, you know? Like, it's almost hard not to be. And they say that about everybody. I think they said that about The Rock. They've said that about, you know, people like Rikishi. I mean, they just have it in their genes. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
That's true.
But yeah, so I was disappointed in the Raw Women's division this week because it was just kind of throw all the women into one segment throughout like 3 segments across the whole 3 hours.
Well, at least Raw usually isn't doing that. Usually it's SmackDown that does that. So I don't know. Guess I can give Raw a little bit of a pass. Charlie, nice hair.
Thanks, bro.
Radical, brat.
Do you look like that quarterback that you're talking about, Elite 11?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what he looks like?
No, we're rocking, bro.
Oh.
Dude, are you hearing these rumors about they're going to trade Andrew Luck?
Yeah, that's just people that don't know what they're thinking.
Scott Tolzien looks pretty good.
Yeah. Great game.
Jacoby Brissett, I mean, you know.
Jacob Brisket will lead them to the promised land. Name one ex-Patriots quarterback that hasn't been amazing. Think about it, man.
Was it Brandon
Ryan Boyer?
What's Matt Castle?
Ryan Mallett.
Matt Castle, yeah.
Matt Castle's like 40 years old, bro. Give him a break. He was good on the Vikings for a couple seasons. They usually always start at least.
That's true.
And Jacoby Brissett will be no different. He'll be starting by week 4. Unless Luck can come back, which I hope so.
He might be starting this week. Pagano still hasn't given an answer. He might be starting this week.
Man, could you imagine like being that terrible at quarterback that he's been in the Colts system at least for the whole training camp and he's familiar with their system, and a guy that's been there for a week and a half might take the starting job from him?
That would be terrible.
Anyway, what was next on Raw? Hit me with it.
Sasha Banks versus Emma.
How'd that go?
It was, I mean, you'd think, right? It's really great on paper. I mean,
Sasha beat her pretty easy, right? Like, they're making it seem like Emma is definitely the odd woman out in this match.
Yeah, which could be a means for her to come back as a sort of underdog victory, but it doesn't really make sense for a heel either.
How many? We have one more week of Raw and then the pay-per-view?
I think you're right. Either that or 2, something like that.
Oh, nice. Is that how you always get the dates?
Yeah.
Every time I ask you about the dates right now. Okay.
I haven't put in my school stuff yet. But.
So that means, we got one more Raw and then No Mercy. So,
assuming Nibiru doesn't hit.
Assuming what?
Nibiru doesn't hit on the 23rd.
Nibiru?
Planet X. It's conspiracy theories.
Man, I don't know.
I don't know this reference.
It's conspiracy theories.
Oh god damn it! Yeah, you want something? I didn't see Moana, but apparently someone grabbed some ancient artifact, and that's why all these natural disasters are happening. It's the Moana theory.
Oh,
I
don't
didn't
know.
see Moana. Dude, none of us have seen Moana. We got to get with the times. Charlie, I'm making you the Alex Pulaski of our group. I'm gonna go put you on these assignments. Go watch Chris Lee Knows Best with Jericho. Or, sorry, Chris Lee Talks or whatever it's called.
According to Chris Lee.
According to Chris Lee. Oh God! All right. So anyway, so Emma's gonna win this match, isn't she, Charlie?
They're gonna have Asuka walk in and beat the hell out of Alexa Bliss.
Oh.
That's my guess.
What are the odds that Asuka comes in and the way she gets her first victory is a cheap roll-up pin, lucky as hell, Garrett, and they ruin her?
I mean, that would be the one way you could do it, right? Well, that or just have her lose a bunch. But yeah, I mean,
they need Nia to win at the pay-per-view, and then Asuka come in and just demolish Nia Jax at the next pay-per-view. That's what should happen. Just so it's like, oh shit, she did that to Nia Jax.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, I don't mind submission victories as like a usually what happens in these kinds of matches, but I just feel like when you're having her be the odd woman out, and then you're just obviously that we don't really think they're really going to put the belt on her at this point, right? There would be no reason to unless they just wanted to swerve us, which they obviously Emma. I just don't. So having her,
why not?
But I mean, they might, but why have her tap out here then? Why not maybe start building her up a little bit instead of just having her be a fluke victory?
Because
which
they love
is something.
doing that. It's obvious that Sami Zayn is closer to a title victory now than he ever has been because they've just been bashing him for a month.
Yeah,
WWE does it, dude. Seth Rollins loses to Randy Orton and then comes back and cashes in at WrestleMania and wins the title.
Yeah, I mean,
it happens.
It does. All right, so next segment after that was we had the Beast was back. So we had Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman coming down to the ring. Huge pop as always. Heyman cut a promo as always because you can't hand Brock a mic or he'll cost you thousands of dollars.
His name was Paul Heyman?
Yes, he did, as always.
See, I don't even need to watch the show, bro. I know what's going on. I know what's going to happen.
Anyway, and because obviously you can't hand Brock a mic or he'll cost you thousands of dollars in FCC fines. $7,000 per swear word, by the way. So
he's got that money.
Just think about it. He can do it, and it's why he does it. But anyway. So I saw something that I did not expect to see as often in this feud. So he starts talking crap about Braun because that's this feud. I think they mentioned that he injured the Big Show, which is fine because they need to get that out there on television.
Hurt previously, and Strowman had a match later on in the night. We'll talk about this, but Big Show kind of passed off his finisher to Strowman. That's what it's kind of seen as, and there's some some parity between Big Show's debut and he debuted in a cage match, and cage match could very well be his last match because he's gonna have surgery on his elbow, and it's like he passed along the choke slam to Braun Strowman. There are a lot of parity points. So yeah.
And then Strowman comes out and he comes down to the ring and he just manhandles Lesnar again. And the awesome part of this segment was Brock suplexes him, and within like 2 seconds, Braun was back to his feet, and Brock's face was just complete disbelief that anyone could get up from a German suplex from him.
That's pretty cool.
Like,
good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was this great putting over of Strowman, and that shows that Brock's obviously, willing to work with this guy and willing to like put him over and stuff like that, because he didn't have to make that face. He could have just been like laughing like he would in his feud with the Undertaker, right. And that would have been justified too, and it would have been non. But this was him really being like, "Whoa, this guy's a threat to my title," Right? So that was cool.
So do you think that Heyman is needed for this for this feud?
I see what you're saying in that this is a feud where we already know what this is going to be.
Like, do we need Heyman coming out and yelling and cutting the same?
I just think Heyman I honestly think it's probably Heyman's decision. If he doesn't want to be there, he doesn't have to be, kind of thing, you know. So I would say if it's not his decision, then it's just somebody backstage that wants to sell this a little bit more. I doubt if they have them on next week, either one of them in a segment.
Still in here. We are doing a Big Brother episode right after the live eviction tonight. And he asks Garrett, which do you prefer, Raw or SmackDown? For me personally, it's on a week-to-week basis, but I'd say I generally prefer Raw more right now.
Okay. I will agree with that. So, and the reason why is because Raw tends to have a lot more up on its down episodes than SmackDown does on its down episodes. When SmackDown has a down episode, it's pretty bad usually.
You can get a lot of Jinder, a lot of Randy Orton.
A lot of Natalia.
About 30 seconds. Yeah, Natalia. And about 30 seconds of Fashion Files, which tries to save it. So, Charlie, would you say for Raw right now as well or SmackDown?
God. Probably SmackDown right now. I enjoyed the episode last night.
That's true. I enjoyed it more than Raw. Raw was sitting in the dark, listening to what happened to the body on Somerton Beach. Pretty good.
So let's see. Okay, so we can skip the next thing if you want to. It's kind of one of those weird things that I don't know how to even talk about.
It works.
So we had Goldust versus Bray Wyatt.
And Bray Wyatt beat him and wiped the face paint off, yelling at Finn Balor, "He's just a man."
Which, by the way, that's awesome. I love that Bray's not just spouting nonsense. You know what I mean? He actually has a purpose for what he's doing. But this is
something. So, it's something, for Christ's sake.
It's more than what they've been giving him or letting him, or more than he's been coming up with. Because obviously the guy has a lot of creative control over his character. You know. But yeah, so it's just a weird segment. But it did what it needed to. I don't know if this is Goldust. I think some people got a little overexcited and were like, "Oh, is this Goldust? You know, shedding the paint?" It's like, no, this was for a spot for one show, and he might do this to Finn if he comes back out in the demon paint. That would be a good swerve if he came out and without even mentioning it. That would be a way better, even if it was 2 months in a row. You know.
So, in regards to Bray Wyatt, I don't know if I brought this up in the last podcast. I wanted to, but I think I forgot. Would you guys be down for a Bray Wyatt Miz feud? Did we talk about this on the last one?
I'm down with that.
For the mid-card title? Oh, yeah.
Because what if they had a face Miz going against a heel Bray Wyatt, especially when the Miz comes back from all the baby stuff, or maybe this could be his next feud. And then you have another one of those things where Bray Wyatt is like mind control, similar to the Daniel Bryan thing, but instead of controlling the Miz, he controls Bo Dallas. And gets Bo Dallas over to his side.
Oh yeah, and they can be like,
and then we could build that into two separate matches. And most people would say that that I'm crazy, but I wouldn't mind seeing a Bo Dallas Curtis Axel match. If we had the aggressive Bo Dallas on the pre-show of a pay-per-view, I wouldn't mind it. So if we had that with like Bo Dallas like destroying Curtis Axel to where Curtis Axel couldn't defend the Miz then, so then it became Bray with Bo in his corner and the Miz without Maurice in his corner, because then Maurice would be gone for the whole kid thing. So then all of a sudden the Miz is on his own, vulnerable, makes for a better babyface push.
Oh yeah,
very true. Good points.
True. All right. So, we had I guess it wasn't. So it was what set up the main event. We had Cesaro versus the Club announced, I believe, and then like the Club came down, and then Cesaro were coming out, and then like they started like while the lights were still down in the middle of the entrance, they started talking crap to Ambrose and Rollins, who were on the commentary table, and then they started brawling. All three teams got into a brawl. And then I think it might have gone to commercial or something, and we went to something else right after. It didn't go straight to the thing. Yeah, no, it rolled straight into the announcement of Asuka. Sorry, I was looking at my list. So yeah. So then later on, it gets announced in some segment that they're gonna have an 8-man tag match. So this was just setting up for the main event. They usually have 1 to 2 segments of these on the show to set up later things on the show. Not much to say about that. Otherwise, it was just a big brawl. All right.
I mean, I think the same thing about the Raw and SmackDown tag divisions right now. The only tag team I really care about as far as storyline-wise is Rollins and Ambrose. everybody else on both shows is just kind of. I like their matches. Like we were watching SmackDown, like New Day and the Usos put on great matches. Sheamus and Cesaro put on great matches. But outside of that, I don't really care. So I don't really care about backstage stuff with them. If you're showing me a match of them, sure, I'm down.
All right, Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same. I'd like to see Gable and Benjamin, maybe a little more. Maybe put them in the next feud if you change it up a little bit. But we all know how it's going to go. 1-on-1 with Jimmy and Benjamin, and then 1-on-1 with Jay and Chad the next week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Vice versa until the next pay-per-view.
Right. We'll still talk about that when we get to SmackDown, but yeah. All right. So we had Elias Sampson versus Kalisto.
Don't care. Don't care. Skip it.
All right.
What a match.
I'm sure Elias won.
Elias did win, and in short order, I believe.
Expected.
But, I guess Kalisto should have just walked with Elias. All right, so this was a match that we referenced once already. It's John Cena versus Braun Strowman. So,
matchup. How did this get set up?
I think it was just thrown to as a announced match early on in the show. It was one of the throw to commercial segments, and they mentioned this match was going to happen, I think. Yeah, pretty confident about that.
All right, why not? So, Braun Strowman got disqualified for using the stairs, right?
Yes. This was an okay match. I don't even really remember enough from it to really say whether it was a good match or not, because it was just sort of
serious John Cena or wacky John Cena?
I guess it was kind of probably. I would say a little bit of both, because I didn't really feel like this was going to be. I mean, it was more like. Do you remember when John Cena got like absolutely destroyed by Brock Lesnar that one time?
Yeah.
It was like ragdoll Cena, basically.
Oh. Well, that's what I'm saying. If it was like goofing around John Cena, not taking it seriously, that could really hurt Braun Strowman, because then he loses credibility, because it's like, oh, John Cena isn't even taking the match seriously. But, if it was Braun just kicking the piss out of Cena, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch it again just to be absolutely sure. But it was mostly just, I remember that was my most thought in this match was, wow, he's just destroying the top guy for like 10 years, like.
Cool. I'm down.
Yeah. So, all right.
Haven't watched WWE in a while. But what's it like now?
What's WWE like now? Who said that?
Potato beans.
Potato beans. I like the names. Kind of like cat thumbs. I would say WWE now is trying to get back into the edgy side while still maintaining that PG thing. Honestly, when the PG era was in full force, I hated WWE. Like when the Usos were the old Usos, and you had a lot of characters like Bayley, and just, I don't know. They're trying to bring a sense of realism into it, and they're trying to showcase the fact that fans are a lot smarter now than they used to be, and they know a lot more about the behind the scenes stuff than they used to. And they're playing to that a lot. So I think it's getting better.
I'd agree.
But
the wrestling is definitely better now. That's one thing you can definitely say. The actual art of wrestling.
And they actually care less about characters now, which I don't know. I find myself bored a lot, but I still don't mind it. But to people that I've been watching wrestling now for a long time. So for me, I can already tell where the storylines are going because they've been doing the same stuff over and over again for years, and they haven't changed up their formula at all. Nothing really surprises me anymore. But the matches have gotten better, like Garrett said.
Oh, yeah. They can sometimes be as good as they used to be, but it's like the writers just can't think of anything original, and they just have to go back to what they've already know will work.
They go back to that formula we were just mentioning.
Exactly. So, grade for Raw. Garrett?
We had more stuff.
Really? I thought you said, the 8-man tag. Who cares?
We had Miz TV as well, and Enzo Amore versus The Miz.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead then.
So Miz TV was really crazy Miz TV. So this was probably one of the better promos one-on-one that I've seen Enzo cut. And same, The Miz is always fantastic. I thought that was pretty great. I thought it was a good episode of Miz TV. You know, Miz Taraj always lurking in the background. They had made the announcement that they were having a baby.
As in Miz and Maurice are having a baby.
Right, not Miz and Enzo. That would be weird.
Right.
But yeah, there was a line from Enzo called, not called, where he said the question you should be asking your kid isn't how you doing, it's who's your daddy. And that was just perfect, you know.
Did the audience get a "Who's your daddy" chant started at least?
Yes.
Okay, good.
That happened during the match, which was a decent match. I mean, Enzo still is nowhere near as fast as he needs to be for the cruiserweights or as high fly as he needs to be for the cruiserweights, but he's coming along. You could tell that. I think that's why they put him against the Miz, because you can't just drop him straight into the cruiserweight division without having some matches with some guys that are almost to that style and then to that style, and maybe some of the main
first
roster
crossover guy, which is kind of cool.
Right, but it also means he has to learn that new style within the time that he'd normally be and still make appearances on Raw, you know. So, like, I don't know. I think it's going to be tough for him. I don't think the guy will waste the opportunity, though. I mean, unless what they say about him backstage is true, which The Miz also hit on. He mentioned that he got kicked out of the bus and that he got kicked out of the locker room. So there was
his girlfriend left him because Liv Morgan dumped him because he cheated on her.
No, that did get mentioned. Probably because I think Liv Morgan's she's still signed to NXT, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I doubt they'd bury one of their own NXT call up potentials. You know.
No, they'd be burying him for being a cheater.
So anyway, I'm pretty confident that Miz won this. Either that or Enzo cheated. I don't remember. A lot of this stuff was just nothing segments.
If Miz next week delivers a line to Enzo saying like, "Hey, the reason I'm allowed to have a kid is because I actually remain loyal to one woman."
Well, hold on. Let me look real quickly.
Like getting some heat backstage. They might start throwing fisticuffs.
Awesome.
I'm just going back to see what actually happened in this match. The result, so I can get it right.
The Miz came out on top. I know that.
Yeah, I just don't know if he won the match because sometimes it doesn't matter.
Wins and losses don't matter in the WWE.
I wish they did.
They don't. That's the thing.
Yeah, they really don't.
Doesn't matter who wins or loses anymore.
All right.
It's the 8-man tag. Who wins it?
Oh, Enzo won by. Oh, well, hold on. I'll get to that in a second. The Enzo won by DQ. Yeah, like I thought. All right.
Yeah, makes sense.
The 8-man tag was won by. Oh man, there's a lot of writing in this article. Hardys, Rollins, and Ambrose won that match.
Makes sense. So it was the Hardys for the mystery team.
But yeah, that was the team they had to go and get.
Slater and Rhino.
It could have been. You know, they could push them eventually anyway. I think they're still over enough with the crowd, honestly.
I was hoping it was Undertaker.
Hoping it was who, an Undertaker?
Kane and Undertaker. Or Edge and Christian. Where are the Dudley boys at?
Edge can't wrestle anymore.
I was hoping it was the Undisputed Era.
TM61, what are they doing these days? The Ascension?
Authors of Pain.
Dude, there we go.
What's Iconic doing, bro? Billy Kay and Peyton Royce.
Dude, with Rollins and Ambrose versus the Club and Cesaro, dude. You know, a lot of the female wrestlers are actually way more against intergender wrestling than the male wrestlers. I did not expect to hear that in interviews, but that's actually the case.
Really?
Yeah, I you know, Sasha Banks is kind of not sure about it. I think I heard like Becky Lynch was willing to do it. She'd want to do it, but she doesn't know if everybody else would be okay with that.
Well,
I'm sure there's still.
You gotta think it's along the lines of they don't want to have to wrestle guys in order to be seen as credible. They want to be seen as credible by wrestling each other.
That's
right. Sasha said she probably couldn't take on Roman Reigns, but she could take on Enzo in a heartbeat. You know, like
sure they can beat up Ellsworth, but.
Well, that even happened. Becky Lynch did do that.
Jericho. Yeah.
So obviously Becky's okay with it because she did essentially do a couple. She did moves on Ellsworth. So you know, it's something potentially. It won't be probably till. I bet it's in the next 5 years, but I bet it's probably going to be with some of the Mae Young Classic women when they actually get a chance.
A
lot of them did that.
I was hoping so bad that Triple H was going to just that Kairi Sane. I was hoping he's just going to, while he's holding her hand up, pull her back, pedigree her right in the middle of the ring.
Oh, yeah, like that one time he did it to Steph. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. What happened to the good old days when Randy Orton handcuffed Stephanie down and made out with her while Triple H laid there lifeless looking at her?
When Linda McMahon would be sedated live on TV.
It's awesome.
Best era in wrestling.
All right, you're the only one that fully watched it all the way through, Garrett. What grade would you give it? You're representing all of us today. And you're frozen. All right, cool.
This was a solid episode.
Oh, okay.
C+, solid episode of Raw. Nothing spectacular.
C for solid.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any justification for it. I just it's an okay show. You know, it's building. All right. I don't know why my list.
It was the only time where I was really craving Raw. Like for the first time in my life, I was craving Raw because I was laying there in the dark. No power, no cell service for 2 days. That was great.
Not fun. Fisticuffs.
So SmackDown happened. Garrett, you there? He's frozen. All right, cool.
I'm back.
All right, what's up?
All right, so
Branson
SmackDown, dab down. All right. So SmackDown opened with a Kevin Owens promo where he was basically outlining the different things he's gonna do as the essentially, I guess, the new CEO of WWE or whatever. That's kind of what he was going for. Yeah, and the first thing, of course, was firing Sami Zayn, which is hilarious.
Naturally.
And it's always a joke they can go back to. What was the second thing he said? Oh, he was gonna make Byron and Tom Phillips wear one suit at the same time.
And he also wanted Aiden English to sing the new theme song.
Yeah. Which, hey, dude, in that little segment,
The Kevin Owens Show. It's like, and Kevin Owens standing there with that shit-eating grin.
He's like, yes. That was a segment later on.
That's great.
Dolph Ziggler came out to Bayley's music during this segment, which was hilarious. He even had the Bayley buddies. So, you know, Bayley probably got asked.
And then he came back out to a Dead Guy's theme music with the Dead Guy's wife in the crowd.
Which means she was.
It's rock and roll. But, yeah, so he came out to the Ultimate Warriors entrance as well. Honestly, it seems like he's been putting in some time, doesn't it, Charlie? Into like memorizing these entrances.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's like the attention to detail. I feel like he wouldn't do it unless he knew, like, he was comfortable that he knew what he was doing. You know, I don't know.
So if we had Dolph Ziggler versus Damian Sandow versus Charlie Haas in a triple threat, and they all get to be pretending to be someone else, who's winning?
Macho Mando. Or Stone Cold Steve Austin is Charlie Haas.
What?
Didn't he dress up as Stone Cold?
You mean Charlie Haas as Stone Cold?
Yeah.
Stone Cold just shows up and just pretends to be Charlie Haas. So he be himself pretending to be himself.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, he's Stone Cold pretending to be Charlie Haas imitating Stone Cold. Jesus, that's good. Okay. Anyway, we kicked off right after that. Daniel Bryan said that Kevin Owens. What?
All right, I'm back.
All right. So Daniel Bryan said, you know, Kevin Owens, you know, before you go into this whole lawsuit business, you're gonna have to answer to someone who's gonna be here very soon, Vince McMahon, and everyone's like, yeah. So it's the first time that we're gonna see Vince McMahon since the night after WrestleMania, which is pretty cool, and the first time he's been on SmackDown in 4 years, they said, so even cooler. And then Kevin Owens is sprinkling in all these different things throughout the show, saying that he wants new music and he wants, like I said, Aiden English to sing the new theme, and he wants catering, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So that leads into a U.S. title match. Daniel Bryan's like, well, you still got to, you know, get out of the ring because we have a U.S. title match. Ty Dillinger versus AJ Styles. I thought this was great, and Dillinger actually hit his finisher on Styles. Now, I got to ask you, Charlie, do you think that it's a good or bad thing that Ty Dillinger hit his finisher one of the first times on TV, because he hasn't been on TV out that much, And this is one of the first times we've seen his finisher, and yet AJ Styles kicked out. Do you think that hurts him?
Nah, because AJ Styles is AJ Styles. I mean, if you hit this finisher on Drew Gulak and it didn't.
Well, AJ Styles is a terrible Madden player.
That's fair.
Sorry. Were you asking me a question?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. All right. So yeah, I mean, I like this match, man. It was good. It was hard for me to decide who was going to win because both of these guys are my boys, you know. So
I don't think Dillinger ever had a shot at winning, but he fooled me.
Oh no, I mean who I wanted to win, like who I was rooting for. I knew who was going to win just from a booking standpoint. I knew there was no way they were going to give it to Dillinger randomly. Although there was one false finish that almost got me. But
I think Sami Zayn's going to be the one to eventually come out and win the Open Challenge, and probably go against Kevin Owens for the U.S. title because they might as well have another little feud with them, at least one pay-per-view match, because they keep alluding to these guys still hating each other, but they haven't had a program with each other in over a year, right? So, you know, having one pay-per-view match and having Zayn retain over Owens would be a good little way to fill up some space, have a good match. Zayn can have a little bit of a title run, and then Styles can go back into the main title feud against Shinsuke Nakamura when he wins at the next pay-per-view. So that would be my dream scenario.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be Shinsuke versus Jinder in Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
Ugh.
I know. So anyway, Styles wins. Good match. Shakes Dillinger's hand after, and they both go on their merry way. We cut backstage to Rusev having an interview. He spewed a bunch of nonsense, didn't he? It's kind of a weird promo. Basically saying he knows what he needs to do in order to get all of his credibility back, Garrett, and that's to beat up a legend. What do you think about this?
Back. What
do you think about Rusev saying he needs to beat up a legend?
I want to know who he's talking about. I mean, someone's we had the what was it, the whatever I call them, the Heartbreak Kid Colonel, you know, the Heartbroken Colonel or something. Yeah, so he could be making a return. That was totally. I mean, it wasn't wrestling gear, but he came out and
wait, what is this? I don't even know.
Michaels. Well, on SummerSlam, came out as the KFC Colonel.
Oh, gotcha.
It could be Shawn Michaels.
Maybe not an official match. I don't think. If they didn't have Shawn Michaels have a stunt double and make it seem like Rusev, you know, threw him into a ring of fire or something. I fell into a burning ring of fire.
That'd be pretty good.
But no, I don't know. I'm hoping he just goes on a spree and beats up all the agents and stuff backstage. Why not? But Rusev's gonna go after. He's gonna go after a legend or legends. Who knows? A new legend killer gimmick.
Could be Benjamin.
Does Randy count yet?
I don't think Shelton Benjamin definitely does not count as a legend. It's going to be people that are seen as, you know, Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? Charlie was like, you were saying before the show, you're like, dude, Jinder Mahal's not even going to be on the show. But then we got him. We got Jinder, your boy. We got Jinder on the show.
You just can't hinder him.
He came out, said some things in Punjab. People booed him.
He said the same thing he says every frickin' time since April.
Actually, the only thing that he did change up, he said he hopes he wins at Hell in a Cell, not just because he wants to win, but because he knows that if Shinsuke wins, then the fans are going to treat him like garbage, like they've treated him, because they hate everyone that's not American.
Which then Jinder then proceeds to go on like a racist rant about how his faces look like he's saying, "Oh my God, this guy's Zira."
Yeah.
Which
he did say got some Godzilla stuff. It's pretty
yeah. And then
worse than Enzo coming out and calling Grand Metalik queso.
Yeah, no, that's
whatever.
I wonder if some of these lines are Vince. I don't know.
Oh, they're definitely Vince. We know he was there at SmackDown. Might as well throw in a Godzilla reference.
You know what would be funny?
If we made fun of who he was.
Godzilla joke to the Japanese guy. Ha ha ha.
Ouch. That hurt me.
Wow. Yeah, well, all right, moving on from that.
I scared a guy in a neighboring car today, Garrett.
How'd you do that?
Yelling out the window at another car.
Nice.
So
we already referenced these.
we had more Kevin Owens stuff backstage, which you already talked about. Then we had a Sin City street fight, which is totally different than any other street fight ever, right, Garrett?
Yeah, it's totally different than the Brooklyn street fight that we had on Raw where Big Cass got injured.
Right. Absolutely different. They could have at least pulled out like the Welcome to Las Vegas sign and clocked each other over the head with it or something.
Yeah.
But as soon as this match started, Charlie was like, dude, I can't, why is this feud still going on? I was like, they have good matches. He's like, I know they do, but, like I was just talking about, I don't know. The tag teams seem a little boring to me as far as personalities. What do you think about it, Garrett?
I agree. I think right now we've just had too much of the same tag teams fighting each other all the time. I think the Revival being hurt on Raw has seriously hurt their new tag team capacity. And I think that the fact that SmackDown doesn't really have anyone besides Breezango that I think could step up and everyone would instantly get behind them against the Usos, except maybe Benjamin and Gable, which we'll get to, I just this division is waiting for them. I think at this point, I think that's where they're going next. If they're not, I don't know what they're doing.
Gable and Benjamin versus Usos, I'm down.
Yeah, it'll be a good match. Yeah, I mean, as the match, this match was good. It was entertaining watching one of the Usos go through the table and it not hit the table correctly at all.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say, New Day won the titles back. They are now 4-time champs. So
it's just annoyance at this point.
So I mean, if Benjamin and Gable are next in line, then are they gonna be heels? It's a little weird.
They're gonna run this match back at Hell in a Cell and give it to the Usos.
That means that we have to have a New Day rematch where they lose. So
yeah, sounds good. I'm down.
That's fine. All right, yeah.
They're just hopscotching this belt for some reason right now, and I don't see why the Usos needed this. Why not? I don't know.
So you don't think the Usos should have got the titles at all? You think New Day should have just held on to them?
I think I mixed it up. I don't.
Oh, you don't see why the New Day had to win? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant why did Usos win in the first place? So I was like, I kind of like the Usos. If I had to pick one of these two teams,
great,
I like,
man.
Oh, okay.
They completely revitalized themselves. Whereas New Day has been this New Day for over 2 years.
Yeah.
They haven't changed. All they've added was dildos on their head. Am I wrong? I mean, I don't know. They've had the trombone for 2 years. Trumpet, whatever it is. I don't know.
Are you serious?
I can't tell.
You don't know the difference between a trombone and a trumpet? One's got a slide and the other's got valves. I don't know.
What does he play?
You've got
You
that.
should enroll in my exploration of music class for 6th graders. Moving on.
We had a
Women's championship match. Natty won. Let's move on, please.
All right, we already talked about Ziggler coming out as Macho Man.
And then we had Benjamin and Gable versus the Hype Bros, and this was a lot of the same, except at the end of the match, Gable and Benjamin had a pretty cool finisher. And then Zack Ryder walks out on everyone. So Zack Ryder, bit of a heel turn tease. You all right, dude? Yeah.
You scared me, man. I don't know. I'm scared.
You got the football. You got the football. You're twitching. The hell is going on with you, man? Chill. I'm not letting you get ice cream anymore.
I'm shivering.
Next time you say, "Daddy, take me for ice cream," I'm gonna say no.
You know what the New Day won? Because your freaking shirt.
It did. New Day rocks.
Freaking shirt.
All right. But Zack Ryder heel turn. We're going to get a Zack Ryder versus Mojo Rawley match at Hell in a Cell pre-show probably. You down, Charlie?
No.
Garrett?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Or was that a yes or a no? Oh, okay. I'm down. I'm down. I stay hype! All right. Finally, we have the confrontation that they've been teasing all night. Vince McMahon shows up. And Kevin Owens is with him in the ring. Kevin Owens is like, "You did a great thing suspending your son." He's like,
I didn't suspend him because he attacked you. I suspended him because he didn't finish the job. He should have taken your liver and pulled it out of your throat.
What else did he say?
He should have ripped your face off and attached it to your back.
That was another thing that he did too. And then pretty much he was saying that
I like the Vince McMahon impression.
and then he went on to say what we all knew this whole segment was setting up. Which was
You're gonna face my son, Shane McMahon, at hell in a cell.
That hurts. Don't do that.
Hell in a cell.
see, there you go. Charlie, give it a try.
Hell in a cell.
Your for worst Vince McMahon impression of all time.
Hell in a cell. Oh.
Yeah, it hurts when you do it like that.
Hell in a cell match. Balls. You gotta get some balls in it.
You sound more like Batman. You sound like Christian Bale's Batman.
Hell in a cell.
All right, anyway. Kevin Owens legit headbutts Vince McMahon right in the forehead.
Was that him actually bleeding? I couldn't tell.
Ow.
Oh,
All right.
dude,
I hope I got that on
he's got a
camera.
concussion.
Kind of shaking. I feel like Edelman or Amendola.
Tell the truth.
All right. So he headbutts Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon falls on his hands and knees. Kevin Owens kicks him. Then Vince McMahon gets back up, and Kevin Owens punches him down and then hits him with a frog splash. And
That was
then
pretty good.
the best moment of the night. Kevin Owens is already going up the ramp. What are you doing, bro?
I don't know. This is what
I'm
I
taking
do.
it away.
This is what I
taking
do.
it
when
away.
you
All right.
guys do the show.
So Vince McMahon is like laying like lifeless, like getting helped up the ramp. Kevin Owens is already up the ramp, and then you hear like two fans from the front row chanting to Vince McMahon, "You still got it." You still...
He's just,
It was the best. The best. It was the best.
You're the best.
Garrett, what'd you think of this?
Oh, I loved it. I love any time that Vince McMahon just completely throws out the fact that he made the company PG, like himself, because he's like the one guy that will want that image to stay up, but yeah, he goes out there and he says stuff like it's still the Attitude Era, like I don't know,
Vince McMahon is how old?
75.
70 something.
Yeah, he's in his 70s, and he's letting the dude headbutt him, legit, right in the forehead, cutting him open. I love that.
I saw something, and I agree with it a lot. This shows how much Vince McMahon likes Kevin Owens, putting him over like that.
Because remember, the reports were he didn't like Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn, and Triple H convinced him to at least pick one of them to ride with once they got up on the main roster. Triple H picked Kevin Owens, and it seems like it took some convincing, but Vince McMahon finally came around. So, this to me, Garrett, seems like it's setting up for Kevin Owens is going to beat Shane McMahon at Hell in a Cell. And then he already attacked Vince McMahon. And then he's going to beat Shane McMahon. And then maybe he inadvertently hits Stephanie with a chair or something if she lets him do that. Leading to finally Triple H has to come back and take down the monster that he kind of created.
That'd be pretty cool.
Is that something you'd buy?
Oh yeah, and that build up to that feud would be great too.
Oh, agreed. Especially if they had a thing where all the McMahons were in the hospital side by side.
And Kevin Owens breaks in and starts beating him up even more.
Dude, whoa. Pull the Stone Cold. I mean, Charlie Haas.
I mean, you could it'd be better than pulling that Brian Pillman thing where you had a gun.
Yeah, I don't think that would fly. I don't think we're quite that far out of PG yet.
Nah, dude.
Did I get my eyebrows waxed?
What?
I got big eyebrows, bro. Charlie, look, come next to me.
Yeah,
Look
you're
how big
comparing
my
someone who
eyebrows.
has no eyebrows.
Your
I got-
eyebrows are normal eyebrows.
They're
I got big eyebrows, bro. And I got the neck beard because we don't have any water at my house. This is what happens.
Turn
4
into a
days. Ugh.
caveman. Brady's turning into a caveman.
I am. All right. Anyway, Big Brother comes on in 4 minutes, Garrett. So I think it's about time we get out of here. But first, Charlie, give us your grade for SmackDown.
A-.
Garrett.
An A.
I think I'm going to go with Charlie. I'll give it an A-. There are a couple things where I was like get Natty off my screen. But other than that, and also Carmella she had a little bit of a part in that match as well. Naomi took him out with a crossbody. Her and Ellsworth. People are calling him Carmelsworth. That is the worst ship name I've ever heard. It's Jarmella, okay? If you call it anything else other than that, Carmelsworth, no, Jarmella. That's what it should be. On that note, we'll be back in about an hour to talk about Alex getting evicted.
Fact.
And Garrett, I'm sure. Well, I hope to see you in chat. But to everyone else watching, we're really, really, really close to 100,000 views. We're at 800 subscribers, and we're about 400 views off of 100,000 views. So we're hopefully going to hit that by tomorrow. Pretty damn awesome.
Pretty rad.
But the only way to make that happen is to make sure that you guys like and subscribe and click that little bell so you know when we go live. And either way, we'll catch you guys next time.